now welcome MEP Victor Negrescu from the S&D Group, EIF Steering Committee Member and Vice Chair of the CULT Committee. The floor is yours.
Yeah, it was very interesting, of course, to listen to you, dear Commissioner. Very interesting perspective, and of course, in the same time, offering a lot of solutions, but also in the same time underlining the challenges that are in front of us. So therefore, of course, there are two particular issues, of course, that need to be raised, and that they are, of course, complementary to what has been said before. So first of all is the issue of implementation, because we have strategies, we have ideas, but we also have the feeling that we have isolated silos of great ideas, but that are not linked between each other, and that do not offer, let's say, a clear perspective maybe to innovators, but also to countries, because sometimes, of course, we often are facing this issue that we have some countries or some regions that are moving faster and many regions that stay behind. So maybe you can address this issue on how we can, let's say, reduce the gaps at different layers. But in the same time, if we refer to reducing gaps, I have to underline, like I usually do, again, the issue of education, because this was also mentioned by you, that education is the engine for innovation. So I think in this regard, beyond, again, the enormous amount that we have in the recovery plan, is about designing, again, how we see education for innovation, or education about innovation, and how, of course, how we can, of course, focus on excellence, but in the same time, focus on accessibility, and making sure that as many people, as many young people as possible have access to this type of education, but also in the same time have access to entrepreneurial innovation, which is, again, the starting point of everything. So I think maybe you can address this issue of starting point as well, because, again, we often look at the big picture, but, you know, the small things, details count a lot. I know that you are personally committed in doing that, but of course, beyond you, beyond us that are present here, we also need to involve many people in the process and make sure member states, local communities, civil society, local stakeholders are involved in the process. So I think this is an issue that needs a lot of work, and maybe you can have some inputs on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victor. As always, it's a real pleasure to exchange with you, and you are completely right, and I would like really to claim this loudly. Excellence and access to excellence are the two sides of the same coin, and for me it's absolutely important. Now what we need is, of course, some concrete examples. For me, it's absolutely important to work with our regions, with local authorities, and to involve our citizens not only in the discussions for the co-creation, but for the implementation. And I have two examples. First, we decided together with Commissioner Ferreira to tackle this issue of innovation divide. But I don't want to talk about innovation divide. I want to talk about innovation cohesion. We need to change our narrative to be more positive. Here, again, there is a huge need of more concrete actions, because it was good that last year in November, together with the Committee of the Region, for the first time in the history of our two institutions, we agreed on a joint action plan for the next 2 years with 4 main priorities: research, innovation, education, and culture. But what's happened a few months after, I organized a meeting between the mayors of the European capitals of innovation and the European capitals of culture. First time that they met each other. And I think that we need these kind of exchanges. We need a real platform where mayors, local communities, regions can work together. And what we are trying now to do with my team is to expand this platform. It's open not only to the mayors coming from capitals of culture or innovation, but to all the others. And I must say that they were very engaged on the topic of New European Bauhaus and missions. And that brings me to my second point. We have now a good example with our missions, how we would like to engage citizens since the beginning to the implementation. Because in our 5 missions that we announced officially today, we changed our approach. It's a citizen-centered approach. It's up to citizens to feel that these missions are here to make a difference in their daily life. That's why, first, since the beginning, 1.5 years, we designed and we defined together with citizens the priorities of the missions. In the implementation plans, the main actions will be implemented together with citizens. Concrete examples, when we talk about the mission on climate adaptation, you know, we have now this very big ambition to have at least 150 European regions advanced on climate issues by 2030. We are proposing to have, for example, a city climate contracts with citizens. And there is already some good examples. And in all our missions, there is concrete proposals together with them. Of course, I'm aware that with 1, 2, 3 examples, it's not enough. And that's why we should always see this issue as a horizontal issue. And I must say that we started already by building some bridges. And Maria, you addressed this issue that it's an internal issue too. We need a team-based approach. We need an ecosystem approach everywhere. I again think that we should now put an accent on more examples, more actions, and actions that are after scalable at European level.
Thank you, Commissioner, for taking that into consideration. So I have to mention that I'm in my hometown of Alba Iulia. You see the picture here, but it's 5 hours away from Bucharest, and I meet a lot of local authorities, and for them sometimes, you know, all those ideas seem far away. So I think maybe with your energy, we can maybe, and this will be just my suggestion at the end, make the representations of the Commission in countries be more dynamic in promoting those interesting initiatives, because they are not active all the time. And why not also use us as members of European Parliament and members of the EIF community as, why not, promoters of those initiatives. I'm certain that we are fully available in working with you on that, because the purpose is to make all those great ideas tangible. I think this is one of the most important elements for us, and I'm certain that if we work together, we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.